Alright. How we doing, everybody? It's Uptown Down, the number one wrestling podcast in the world. You got your boy Rashane, Nathan, and Clinton on this Mother's Day. Shout out to all the mothers out there. We salute you. You are strong, beautiful women, especially the ones out there independent. Shout out to y'all. But anyways,
Go
how
moms.
we doing?
Go moms.
Yeah, how we doing today, y'all?
We're doing good. It's a nice day out there. We had wild night last night. I was at a 40th birthday party. Everyone was having a good time.
Okay.
We're up for that now today.
Watching some Collision.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah. We had a good week of wrestling this week, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of stuff to talk to you about. Educate y'all on what we think will happen / give y'all the news as always. So let's get this AEW weekly recap on the roll.
Yeah.
We'll, to start off the rip, of course, we're going to start off with our Wednesday Dynamite. I always started. Let's what y'all started this time. We'll switch it up today.
Kind of starts off the night with a promo from Adam Copeland, and he sets up the match for the night, which was already established with Brody King. He's saying he was feeling a little crazy that night, so he wants to go no DQ. So,
yep, no rules, ladies and gentlemen.
No rules, and obviously the House of Black will always go for that. So.
Oh, yeah.
That was your opening sort of setup for the night, and they had Copeland setting up his main event fight against Brody King, and then they went right into the Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta. And,
nice little grudge match that they've been setting up here.
Yeah.
I like that little beast.
Yeah, well, they had a good one, and then Trent snaps again. Trent's been losing it, you know. Trent's losing it. He's on a different level.
He got his hair cut.
Yeah,
yeah.
Shouldn't have cut his hair.
It's true.
Couldn't accept he was balding, but now Trent's taking all his anger out on people because he's losing his hair. So.
Yeah, he's becoming
it's coming to you too. Wish your hair was thick, Nick Jackson.
Okay, he's already snapping. See, he's already showing signs.
That's what I'm saying. It's a thing.
But,
it's real.
Don't talk about the EVPs like that, you know.
They might cancel the show.
Yeah, they might cancel us. They'll pull the plug real quick. So take it easy on the.
Take away our budget, that's for sure.
Right?
Somehow
Orange Cassidy gets
he
steals the win. He steals the win, and that makes Trent lose his money. He loses it again. He pile drives Orange Cassidy on the steps, like.
Oh yeah. That was disgusting.
It was a beatdown.
It was a beatdown. It got messy.
I think at one point Statlander came out and said, "What?"
Yeah, Statlander gets in his face, and he told her straight up, "Shut the fuck up."
Is it right to talk to women
8
like
seconds
that,
into AEW Dynamite, like we're not on the 9 o'clock hour, we're on the 8 o'clock hour, and Trent's cussing Statlander out like he's losing.
So if there's any young kids watching the show, I don't want you to thinking that's how you talk to women.
Never disrespect
don't ever tell a woman to shut the fuck up. It doesn't work out for you.
Not supposed to talk to him like that. So
it's like Statlander and put him into a full Nelson or something.
Straight up, he's a bad guy now.
Oh yes.
And I like it. I like Trent.
The only thing I'll point out is that, again, for another week in a row, Mr. Don Callis walked out with Mr. Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
So, it's not just it wasn't just a fluke, ladies and gentlemen. There might be our Orange Mr. Cassidy might be turning a little vile.
Yeah.
A little bit more sour than sweet, you know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. I love Don Callis. Always am a Don Callis man. Keep it going though.
Alright, after that, there's a Kenny Omega update.
Oh man.
Kenny calls in video chats from the hospital, sitting in the hospital. He's in rough shape after what Jungle Boy, Jack Perry and the EVPs did to him last week, so he's getting checked out, and he's announcing that he's not going to be coming back anytime soon, but he sets up another match. He sets up Anarchy in the Arena, which is going to be Jack Perry, Okada, and the Young Bucks.
The
Elite.
Heads up for a future 5-star match ahead of us.
Very soon.
For sure.
They do it right. They blow the roof off the building, folks.
So that when they teased this match earlier, and they said that it's going to be FTR against the Elite with 2 mystery opponents, and you're going to find out tonight who they are. Basically, that's what Kenny says, and that's a little video promo package setting up some more stuff for later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not too much to report.
Not much to report on, except for the match, which is cool.
We love you, Kenny.
And then they had Serena Deeb on the microphone for a
man.
while. We got
The
to hear her
professor's
whole
back.
life story if you were interested.
So
And
she's
she's
been
been through a lot,
yeah,
apparently.
she's been through a lot.
Realize.
So
Yeah.
there's a chance at this belt, guys.
Well, she's getting it.
There's one of those you just
It could be that surprise win.
can't be upset about it, but it'd be nice if she retains the belt. Or sorry, doesn't retains it,
Wins the belt.
wins
Oh
it.
yeah, that's what I mean. It could be one of those surprise title
Professor's time to
changes.
teach. You got the learning tree with Jericho. Now you could have the professor with Deeb teaching.
Everyone's
as well.
getting an
Exactly.
education.
We're getting an education as right.
Hey, that's how it is. They want to teach us.
Yeah.
I'm willing to learn.
Yeah.
Willing to learn.
That promo turned into Toni Storm coming out to get in her face, and she sniffs her breath and gives her the little sniff test
Yeah.
again. I think it's hilarious when she does that.
Oh yeah,
And then that just turns into Deeb hitting her with a right one.
Yeah,
Dropped her. Knocked out cold right at the top of the ramp.
Australian down.
Walks away
Interestingly-
shaking her hand. Oh
Yeah.
my god, her good with that one.
Interestingly enough, Mariah May was not out there, and nor did she come out after. So, where was Mariah May?
She's prepping for her match. She's stretching.
Still, she wasn't by Tony's side. What's going on with that?
What up with that?
Could be something there. Who knows?
Yeah, true.
I like to put a little side stories. I think that it could be the beginning of her descent from Tony. We'll see, but.
Well, since you're speaking of Mariah May, why don't you talk about the next match?
You know what? That is a good point.
Rookie,
because-
by the way, his first All Elite match on Dynamite.
Yes,
Live on
Miss
Wednesday
Harley
night.
Cameron.
Ooh.
She's been in a lot of different segments, factions, and finally having her debut. And what I can say about it, it was one of those matches where she did surprise me. She threw out a lot of moves where it's
really
like
was
she
good.
looked like she knew she'd been doing for years. Like this did not seem like it was her debut.
Yeah.
She was very confident out there. She knew how to get the crowd against her as a heel. Like, she did everything well. I was very impressed. And honestly, for her debut, I'm like, hey,
She did good.
you did good. I don't know if it's because you've been waiting that long and you've just been training or what, but Harley Cameron came out the block. Her and Mariah May put on a fantastic match in general. Just for a women's match, like, they killed it. Because Mariah May is Mariah May. She's, at this point, she's very consistent. She's not really ever putting on a bad match. And this was just one of those, another one of those matches.
Yeah.
I mean, Mariah May did end up winning, which as she should, because at this point you want to keep her as hot as you can.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it was one of those matches where Harley Cameron in defeat still took a win, you know? Like, just looked good. The crowd wasn't just like quiet, they actually made noise, so
Yeah.
there's
It's
something
true.
there for her.
They were in the match.
Yeah, whereas a lot of these other random
It's
matches
just over, and everyone's like, all right. there
yeah,
we go,
people
yeah.
aren't really saying
Yeah,
nothing, but
yeah.
you could tell the crowd was at least into
They were
her.
into it, yeah.
So that's a good sign, especially for her debut. So we'll see what happens with her. But
Yeah, I think I heard on a podcast someone else's that Mariah May and Harley knew each other in like back in their Japan days, and I believe it was Harley that kind of got Mariah May to come over, and she helped her come over.
well,
and shit.
yeah, that makes sense because I heard they were like best friends
Yeah,
in real
they're
life.
buddies,
yeah,
so it's kind of cool to see them get to go.
And I mean, you can tell with the chemistry because, like I said, they went at each other. They
It
did
was a
not
good
like.
match.
Like for a debut where you'd think she'd get just worked over, like she put in work on Mariah too. So,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I said, very good show for both.
And like another, speaking of Mother's Day and not disrespecting ladies, there was some bullshit in this match with some fan.
Oh yeah.
Said something
That's
completely
it.
inappropriate to
Couple of
Saraya.
them, yeah.
And Saraya gets the camera guy to come
Yeah.
over. She's like, get a shot of these guys. These two are perverts. And she like lets the, like, she's like, women everywhere, watch out for these guys, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, do you see
But
that?
that's
Saraya just
Edmonton
tore a
for you.
strip off of some guys in
Yeah,
Edmonton, and we'll
that's
talk about it
Edmonton.
later, like, or we can talk about it now. So after that, at the end of that night, they were taping Ring of Honor, and Sky Blue came out.
Oh, jeez,
and
I heard about
same
this.
two guys lipped her so much that like Aubrey had security throw them out of the building. It's like, you guys, what are you doing? Like,
but like they were saying,
why would you
like,
say that to
some
anyone?
horrible
Yeah,
shit
exactly.
about
Don't
them.
say that to
so
people.
think-
Like, be nice.
Come on, guys, grow up.
Grow up, people. I did think it was Larry
lesson
Surrey
learned
to
to
put them
treat
on
women.
TV and was
Yeah.
like, look at these pieces of
How
shit.
you gotta treat women is
And the worst part
better.
about that, is what I've heard, is that the dude was there with his kids. So it's
Yeah.
like, come on, dude, you're a dad.
You know?
What kind of example are you setting for your son there?
Yeah.
Like,
Don't be a piece of shit.
like,
Yeah, you gotta
there's just manners.
Yeah, be nice.
Like, it's just that simple, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. These are people just trying
we're
to do
younger
their
than
job.
you. We don't have kids, and we're just telling you how it is, dog.
Yeah.
Like, grow up, dog.
Yeah, don't disrespect them. Don't disrespect the ladies, and don't disrespect the wrestlers because they're ladies. They're still doing their job.
Exactly.
Like, don't be dumb. Anyway, that's enough of that. That was
we're
that
not
was the
here.
blemish on that match. Except for,
Anyways, we're
I mean,
very happy for the match.
happy for
how
the match,
ladies
yeah.
did.
Mariah May
Alto
with the win.
Women's Wrestling
Oh,
in a
yeah.
big way. They're still promoting it in a good way. They kicked ass. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that led to a
just-
promo.
You just can put it out in history for another good women's
Oh,
wrestling
yes.
match.
That
Right
led to
there.
a promo
Yeah.
with Swerve Strickland. He came out, and then Christian Cage came out,
Yeah, that's
with
right.
the family.
Whose house?
and then
Word.
Swerve was under the impression he had some support from the Mogul Embassy.
Yes, because as he was talking his shit, and as Christian's family approached the ring, the Mogul Embassy shows up, and they don't attack the man right away, but yes, that does happen. They do turn on Swerve. They take this man out, and I don't want to go into the details. I'm going to give my opinion. I'm going to let you go into the details, and I'm going to give my opinion.
The details.
I don't like talking about Swerve being hurt, so...
Yeah, so Swerve got dabbed up this week, and I mean, there's a lot of questions, and there was a lot of things that were answered if you follow, like, AEW on, like, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. They had these exclusive online interviews. So later on it came out Brian Cage was upset with Swerve for not having him, like, be, like, his main priority. So if you go back to All In last year, Swerve had a match against Sting and Darby, I'm pretty sure it was, and he used Christian Cage as his tag partner instead of Brian Cage. So Brian comes out and says, you chose the wrong Cage. So that's why Cage has turned on Swerve, and his Hawaiian friends have also turned. I'm guessing for the
Gates
same
of
reason.
But he
Gates
beat
of
the shit
Agony.
out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
He got him back.
yeah.
Swerve got up. And
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of him.
Used
He
the
brought
chain. Some good use of the chain.
So he brought
yeah.
the chains out, then he took that guy and
Yeah,
put
but
his
that's
head
later on.
That
That's
was,
later on, brother.
that was
That's
a different
Collision.
show.
That's Collision. So,
Yeah.
so yes, more to come on this. So we find out that the Mogul Embassy
That's
and
right.
Brian
That's what I'm
Cage
saying.
are
Oh,
on Christian's side with the
Yes.
family.
Yeah, I
right?
can look into the future, folks.
Yeah, it's all good. They'll be here for that. And then after that, they run into the EVPs, and the EVPs give them like the, thanks for doing business kind of like
Pleasure
look.
doing
yeah,
business
pleasure
with
doing
you.
business, and so now the EVPs, also the Elite, I guess. So let's call them the Elite.
Yeah.
Have Christian Cage on their side, and it seems like maybe Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony also, but
Yeah.
that's not really confirmed. But a lot of things turning in AEW right now. It's kind of cool to see,
Oh, yeah.
and that led to a Willow Nightingale promo, which I'll give you a couple guesses as to what she was talking about and who she was talking about. It's been a lot of
Same thing
promos
that's been
about
going on for
Mercedes, so we're not going to cover that because
CEO.
we've covered it.
CEO.
They're just waiting for that pay-per-view to happen.
Yeah,
and
let's
it's-
go.
Exactly. It's good to see Willow on TV, but whatever.
At this point, it's like...
We're just cutting promos.
This is the one problem I've had with Tony Khan and some of his booking decisions, because this goes back to like when Roddy was going after Orange Cassidy's
Orange
title,
Cassidy, yeah.
and they booked that match. What was it, like almost 2 months in advance?
it's like 2 months in advance. It's
And
like-
so they had literally 2 months worth of booking that they had to do to lead up to that show. Why do that when you could have just announced it 2 weeks before? Same scenario here. You didn't need to announce, or Mercedes didn't need to announce that she's going after the winner. You could have had Willow go a couple defenses. then Mercedes randomly comes out after like a random defense and says she's challenging. But
Yeah.
not going on a tangent. But you already know I don't like Tony. That was my neck brace,
neck brace
point
moment.
of the day. So
Yeah.
we'll keep it going.
Keep it neck strong, Tony.
Exactly. Keep it neck strong, sir.
Alright, the next match was Jay White versus Rocky Romero. Not a lot to talk about here. Jay
Not at
White
all.
comes out,
No
mops
offense.
up. I mean, it was a good match, but like,
Oh, yeah,
you know
it
who's
really
gonna
was.
you know who's gonna win that. So
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise.
Not
At
a
the end of the
surprise.
day, Rocky's that great guy that puts over talent, but he's not there to be pushed. He's there to help push someone else. So
yeah, exactly.
it's what it
Is
is.
what it is.
Jay White gets a win.
And then-
Don't really know what's going on with the Trios Championships. I think just because there was a tease with them backstage where they were messing with Pac, that maybe Death Triangle will potentially be the next Trios
yeah, they
challengers
did
for
bring
them.
them up, and Pac was basically saying like Death Triangle's dead or whatever, but
Yeah.
like they're not dead.
No, of course not. And that's what I mean. They're going to come back at some point, probably to help Pac when he's being attacked by them or something, and
Yeah.
that'll set up the match. But yeah, it's all good. I don't know. I used to be hot for the Trios titles. Not as hot anymore. I don't know.
Honestly, I like the trios titles. It's just they've claimed had it for too long.
That is one thing for sure. Yeah.
And the trios that they had really good guys to have the trio belts, but they screwed up because they've had the Acclaim and Billy Gunn hold it for way too long. I'm not talking about the Bang Bang Club or whoever they are. You know what I'm talking about?
Bullet Club
The
Gold.
Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah.
I don't care about them. You had the best friends right there. You had Chucky T. You had Trent. You had Orange.
Yeah,
Something
before they
obviously
turned,
maybe what
yeah.
happened. Yeah, exactly. Before an injury occurred with Chucky T. Before Trent and them had to, now something's going on that they have to finally break up this gang. They had, like you said, the Death Triangle, and they also had the Black. What do you want to call it? The Order.
Black
House of
Bulls.
Black.
House of Black.
Oh, yeah.
I always screw this name up because I want to call them the Dark Order, but
BCC.
you also got the Dark Order.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
The
It's
BCC, they're
you've
the
got-
Hardys and
you
Mark
have the
Briscoe.
BC, yeah, you got Hart. Yeah, you had them. You also had Top Flight, whoever the heck they are.
And Action
The three
Andretti.
of theirs,
Yeah.
They're there.
I see what you mean.
So they had endless amounts of opportunities, but the way I'm looking at a trios belt is that thing should be tossed around like a sex doll in a frat house.
Absolutely.
Alright, that thing just should be passed around every night after a night after a
Every
night.
other week.
Every other week,
Gonna have
because
it.
it's just like you're just gonna say, and I'm just saying too, you could have a random group that forms for just a couple times, going to say, "Hey, who's gonna stop us right now?"
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Do you imagine have Lance Archer walk up and just go, "Hey, Brian Cage, me and this guy, you
We
want
want
to
the
go for the
trios
trios
titles.
tonight?
Let's
They're
go
looking
win
for
them."
someone to challenge it tonight." That's it. Anybody's welcome. You want to do it? I'm in the building tonight. Yeah, I'm down. And then you get those guys to come in and challenge, maybe not win, or they do
It just
win.
sets up
And
a
it's like it
match.
just sets up like
Where you can
you know
use
what I
6
mean?
wrestlers, yeah.
It's like Jesus. It's just I don't know. I just think Tony Khan, I love you, man. But in the Acclaimed, I love you as well. And Billy Gunn, I love you since oh, you didn't know? That's right. You better call somebody. Since
Exactly.
those days, I'm telling you, you've had some good ass wrestling, and I love you for having those belts. I'm just saying, Tony, you dragged those belts a little too long into the mud, and now they're buried, and someone's forgot about them, and that's your fan base.
Yep.
They really don't care. But
Yeah,
the way
like
to
me.
get them back into it is have that belt get tossed around left, right, and center. Same with the FTW belt. That thing's going to be in there. I'm happy to have Jericho walk around and have that belt. But
Yeah.
toss that thing around.
Yeah,
There
Hook
should be a
doesn't
few
have to
belts.
have it every
There
fucking
should be 2
like,
belts that you're
Yeah.
going to have,
Just 'cause
and
it's
same with the
Taz's belt.
international one. There's 2 belts that you should have that are not too many getting tossed around, and that's the championship belt and your TNT belt. Those should be your 2 main superstars that should be having those belts and should be kind of keeping those around for a while because they're really, really good. But all these other belts should be like your minor division belts, where you got guys that have it, but all of a sudden somebody comes out of nowhere and just takes it away from them because he's like, I'm taking this belt too, because they're even Stevens kind of guys.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree.
That's the way I'd be doing
No.
wrestling belts.
No, I won't
There
even
shouldn't be. There shouldn't be 6 months, 8 months to a year holding the belt nowadays. There should be a month to 2 months. It should be like UFC. You got a guy running hot for a couple of months and he's fighting and knocking guys out, but then all of a sudden some guy comes along and knocks that guy out. Some random challenger that nobody really knew about took him down, and it's like that's what wrestling should be.
But that's how you build up stars too, exactly. And I think that's the problem here. It's like there's a lot of guys.
Worst case, the guy
we've
loses
been saying, "Oh, we'd love to see him with a championship."
Yeah.
When you have 3 belts in the trios championship.
Yeah.
Like you said, take 3 random dudes who we want to see hold a belt.
I'm just shocked
make them a team.
You couldn't have had the House of Black carry those belts for a month.
Yeah.
And go crazy with it for just a month or two. Like you could have had them run one pay-per-view with the belts.
They haven't had them yet, have they?
No. One pay-per-view they could have ran those belts with. And you could have set up a crazy, funky, creepy match with that.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like the amount of house rules matches you did when Julia Hart was champion, you told me you could have done a house rules match for the Trios Championship vibe? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, no, but...
And there's also opportunities of having this belt, which this is another idea. I want to kind of be quick with this because I don't want to take up too much time. This is another idea Tony Khan could do too. You could do a trios belt with 2 dudes and a chick as well. You could have that where you have a match for a couple times, where you have an intergender trios, where you could have the best friends right now haul belt while Statlander holding it with them. Mm-hmm. But then you have to have matches where they place against the Dark Order, where you got maybe 2 Dark Order guys and you got Anna Jay, or you got Tay Mello stepping in once in a while, or you have to have these other matches because like you could spread that out.
That gives even more opportunity because it gives the females.
Exactly. So it's just quick and sweet, but we can go on to the next one. That's my little rant. I'm Don Cherry cutting myself off.
I want to add on to that. Because you brought up Chuck Taylor, and I don't think we're going to have any reason to talk about him. But so I have heard that injury, like he is legit.
Oh, so
he can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
so this
God.
is an injury.
It was real.
No, this is an injury he's been dealing with. Like he's been trying to come back. You know, we haven't seen Chucky T for a while.
Oh yeah.
It's because he's been injured, and now it's like come out that like the reason why he's done is because he has to get this surgery that is probably going to take him out of wrestling for the rest of his life, as far as he knows now.
So this was legitimately his last blowout.
So that was his match to like send him off because he was actually injured. So they made it look like that he got hurt. So for as of right now, apparently Chuck Taylor is not wrestling anymore, and that sucks, man. So
damn, salute to you, sir. That's
not the way you want to stop wrestling, but sometimes that's the way. And
I mean, that'll be a memorable match.
You're an OG, like AEW original, you know, best friends. It sucks. They don't want to see you go like that.
I mean, him and Trent versus Santana Ortiz. I'll never forget that fucking parking lot.
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
The greatest fucking parking lot wall I've ever seen.
It was awesome.
Just period. So shout out to you.
Yeah, you've had some great matches, and you know what? Never say never. Like Mercedes Moné was told the same thing. She may not ever wrestle again, and she's maybe going to wrestle again in a month. So
Adam Copeland.
You know, you never know. So hopefully he can come back. Hopefully that's what happens. Yep. That was my add-on to the trios thing. Cause that's enough of that, I guess. But get better, Chucky T. Let's talk about Jericho and Big Bill, the learning tree. Yeah. He has a match against a couple guys I don't know at all. I barely caught their names. I believe one was Javari and one was Abbott. Doesn't matter.
I mean, they were basically squash
talent, unfortunately. And, you know, that's someone's job sometimes. And guess who won? Jericho and Big Bill. So
surprise.
So they're getting together, you know, a little team. Jericho, he gets on the mic. He talks a lot of shit. He's doing Jericho things. So more to come from these guys. This won't be the last we've seen of these two.
Yeah. Do we see them potentially tag team champions?
No way. No. I don't think they're going to be a tag team.
Because I know Jericho's been wanting to have a tag team championship run for the longest while.
Is that what he's been saying?
Well, I mean, think about it. With him and Sammy for the longest while.
Him and Kenny were going to have it.
And that's what I mean. Like, I feel like if it's going to happen, it might happen with Big Bill.
I feel like they're just going to take that as like a Big Bill push.
Okay,
you know,
more
like
Big Bill,
it's gonna be Big Bill's gonna start wrecking guys, and it's gonna be because Jericho's showing him the way. You know.
Okay, I would like that too. I just you never know.
You never know. It could go either way.
Oh yeah.
I still think Big Bill and Wardlow should square off someday.
Oh yeah, that's
both you wrestlers. If you just come across this channel randomly,
be
a man and step up and go to Tony and say, "Hey, let's wrestle each other."
Exactly.
Throw a parry,
Easy,
people.
easy.
Throw a parry.
I don't know. That's not the
But-
way. That's not the
Yeah,
way.
Come
but
at me.
either
Those guys will
way,
crush you.
I'll
Big
tuss
Bill's
them.
a
I'll
giant.
tuss them.
I'd like to see you try.
Lather me up in the olive oil. I'll come
I would
at 'em.
watch. Yeah, I'm
I'll
not
come
throwing
at
them
you
in
with
the
the
towel for
jeans.
you either. I'm gonna just be like, yeah, he said
Okay.
that shit.
oh yeah. And then that led us to the last match of the night.
Yeah.
Not the last segment, but the last match of the night.
Yeah,
and that
big
was
match,
Copeland
yeah.
defending his TNT championship against Brody King.
Yeah.
And obviously, like we said at the beginning, a no DQ match. Honestly, it was one of those matches where everything you expected to happen when it comes to those two happened. All those big spots, Brody King bleeding. Like, as much as everybody wants to make jokes about Moxley bleeding, Brody King's the next guy that I think of when it comes to blood. Like,
Yeah.
that man's always bleeding too. So.
He was fucking bleeding too.
And he was bleeding like a motherfucker, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. Like, it was a lot of blood. But they went to war, and as you would expect, Copeland came out retained.
Mhm.
There wasn't too much to report. I mean, the House of Black, for an amount that you'd expect them to get involved, they really didn't get that involved that much.
They're being respectful, I believe.
Which doesn't make sense, because I'm
Why?
like, when it's a no DQ, it's like,
No, they're being respectful. They always honor the House of Black rules. They all put honor and shit. So they let the matches happen,
I
and then
get
they
it.
come out and fuck with them.
after the match, though,
Yeah,
it's like, I
They're
don't know.
honorable bad
I
guys.
get it, and I respect that, but like, this was a moment where I expected another miss to the face, and maybe Copeland still hits the spear and retains, but like,
Well, who's gonna be throwing the mist, Alistair?
I guess
Malachi,
that's
I'm
true.
sorry, Malachi.
I don't know, but I don't know. I just,
Because Julia's gone, eh? Did you know Julia's injured?
yeah, she's legitimately injured.
Shoulder's wrecked, so she's out for a while.
Fucking injury bug is like
It's
all
real.
over wrestling right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen when you do this shit every week.
Literally, though. Like, ladies and gentlemen, wrestling, for those who say it's not real, yeah, I tell to all the wrestlers out there right now, not wrestling.
Yeah, feeling it.
Okay? It's very real.
Yeah.
God
so
damn
that was-
it.
That was Copeland getting the win.
Well, yeah,
Brody
there's not much
King.
to report.
Not a lot. I mean, there was. Hold on, we're starting to be ignorant of this. It was a great match because you got Copeland in the ring, and I just wanted to say this: like, we're very lucky to be able to see him wrestle every week,
Yeah.
and he's putting on great matches every week. So it's like me being a longtime fan of his. Like, this is a treat and a privilege. If you like, let's not forget, like, this guy who was maybe like if WWE would have kept him, he would have been like what, cutting promos for 4 weeks to 8 weeks, and then wrestling at the pay-per-view once in a blue moon, like,
Maybe
and
winning
still
the
doing
US
great, still
championship.
putting great matches on. But we get to see him do it like week in, week out, and
And he's going hard, too.
yeah, it's awesome.
He's been defending that championship
Yeah.
every week since he's won it. Like,
Yeah, it's awesome.
you know what? I will give that. Like, man, I'll give you your flowers, sir. I
For
appreciate you.
Yep.
And the work rate you've been going at, especially at your age and everything you've gone through. Like,
Yeah, man.
man,
Yeah, he's doing it.
you making that belt look well.
Yep.
I will say, you're just making it look well for Malachi, though, because
It's
double or nothing. My boy finally gets a singles championship, hopefully.
Good.
I spoke it into existence for Swerve.
Okay.
Doing the same now.
There it
Malachi,
is.
Malachi, future TNT champion.
Some
But
voodoo
We'll
shit
see.
coming up here.
we'll see.
All right.
Anyways.
Why don't you finish off Dynamite?
Oh
for
yeah,
us?
we don't got much else to report other than that. I
Mercedes.
mean, other than that, after the match, we had another Mercedes promo, and just like the Willow promo, I'm not gonna go into it because it's the same stuff they're talking about. They're both just hyping each other up, talking their shit about their opponent before the match, and like, I'm not saying it's not gonna be a great match. I'm very looking forward to it, especially
Man.
since it should be her debut.
But what were we talking about yesterday? We were
But-
talking. Remember that fucking beatdown?
And
Yeah.
this is what I was about to go
Yeah.
into. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is my issue with Tony Khan and his booking.
Wait, hold.
Again.
Remember, is it an issue or is it an early planted seed? Right?
You know what? I'll
right?
let you. All right, I'll let you go to it first.
You know what I mean? So we've been
Because
talking
we
about
did talk
Mercedes,
about this for a bit.
and we were thinking she's been cutting promos. She's basically like, CM Punk when he first showed up. You didn't see him wrestle for a minute, and he just came out talking every week, and it just gets old, right?
Yeah.
But we did remember was she got jumped a few weeks ago. Lights out, someone jumped her, and they never solved.
They haven't addressed.
Yeah, they never solved that mystery. So before we forget about that and the pay-per-view coming up, everyone thinks that Mercedes is getting this win, that it's a shoo-in, that she wins this match, and that she's gonna maybe turn heel, and like it's gonna be, you know what I mean? And that's probably what happens. But what if someone else shows up that night and spoils Mercedes' big night? You know what I mean? There's a couple ladies on the sidelines that we haven't seen in a little while, and they haven't talked about this.
Doctor.
Maybe it's for a reason. They want us to kind of forget that. Remember the time she got jumped?
Yep.
Still hasn't been addressed.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a certain dentist.
That's what I said before. I brought that up in a few podcasts ago.
Yeah, you did.
That's right. I said it could have been Britt.
Could have been. So let's not forget about that. That's what we were talking about the other day, and like.
Moving on.
Like he said, is Tony just being ignorant and just dropping the storyline and acting like nothing happened, or was it a planted seed?
And honestly, it could be a seed, knowing the way that Tony Khan likes to do that. It could definitely be a seed. So we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, we'll see.
Other than that, the last segment of the show was because we were still waiting to hear who the other two members of Team AEW, that's what they're calling them, versus Team Elite were going to be. And to the surprise of many, it was Bryan Danielson making his return. And not only him, but Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the reason why people say it's a surprise, me included, is because, as we all know, Eddie Kingston and the Blackpool Combat Club do not have a good relationship. Not at all. He can't stand anyone on that group except for Moxley. And that includes Bryan, especially Bryan. Let's not forget what happened during the Continental Classic and that little beef near the end when it was the finals, right? Like, these two men do not like each other, and now they're supposed to team up with each other. We'll see what happens. But my theory, and this is how I'm going to leave it at, I'll let them give their opinions on this, but I see an Eddie Kingston heel turn. For those who don't know, Eddie Kingston no longer has any championships. And how do you maintain momentum? Just pull a swerve like that, turn heel.
Yeah, become an asshole.
And what better way to do that than cost Team AEW the match? Eddie Kingston's always shown in the past that when it comes to winning a match and what he wants comes first. So, we don't know what'll happen, but I'm obviously excited for this match. I mean, how can you not be? You're gonna have Okada in his first. I think this will legitimately be his first extreme like weapons type of involvement match.
Okada?
Yeah.
Like ever?
I think so. Like in New Japan, he wasn't in those type of matches. Like, yeah, you've been put through a table, but like, he wasn't like steel chairs, like shit like that. So
if that's interesting, and I don't know the history of him, but that just reminds me.
I know enough, and that's why I like.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
that.
I'll go with that. That just reminds me of who was the guy that came in from New Japan and went into the. What's the one where they have the two cages side by side? What do they call that? Blood and Guts or whatever?
Blood and Guts, yeah.
Oh, he
The
came
Blood
from
and Guts
Japan
match.
and he rode the bike and you know what I mean?
Oh, this guy, yeah. And you didn't go through the tax that well.
No, and he just like looked so awkward out there because he wasn't comfortable with it. And
Not
I just
Kota
Ibushi.
Ibushi, that's
Yeah,
right. He
Kota
just
Ibushi.
looked so awkward and out of place.
Yeah,
and it's like,
it didn't. The match
hopefully-
style didn't fit
Yeah.
his fighting tool set.
So that makes me worry for Okada.
And that's why I'm intrigued by this match, because I'm like, Okada's not a violent guy. He's not that type of violence. So
have to get violent.
we're gonna have to see how he does, and that's why I say
That's
very
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
But no, from what I can recall, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, almost certain this will be his first crazy match like that. So
All right.
yeah,
Cool.
we'll see what happens. But
I'll be watching.
yeah, that's your Dynamite review. Anything y'all want to add to?
No, that was it. We covered it. That was a good night. And basically, we just have to move on to Collision. We'll call it our fuzzy Collision and Rampage review because
Oh yes.
he was out fishing and drinking all day. I was at a bar all night.
And I was drunk gaming with the boys, as y'all remember.
So we watched this with some goggles on, and we're gonna give you our honest review from that perspective.
Yeah.
So.
We know enough, though. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're experts. Obviously, you know that if you've been following us this long.
But before we start this match, there's a feature figure that we gotta do.
That's right. We can't forget.
Because we're speaking of FTR. I'm gonna get
my model here. I'm a male model
girl down to come up. Watch the cords there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is Series 7. This is Dax Hardwood. Since he had a little bit of a beef, since we're going to talk about Collision, he had a promo where he had a bit of a brief and he had something to say.
Oh yeah.
So Dax, if you're all about some entertainment and a little bit of getting some popularity, I'll show your feature off. So this is Dax Hardwood's first feature ever in All Elite Wrestling history. This is the fresh one when he first got the belts from winning it from the Young Bucks, where they got the first tag team championships for All Elite. Now they've had it for like 3 times. They like to brag about it a lot. But yeah, they showed up with red jackets on and everything like that, custom and all. So this would be the first ever one you can get. They've had a couple more released now, but this one here is the one that, you know, I think a lot of collectors would like, and I think it's just a good feature figure of the week. It displays Dax in his prime when he was coming into the league. Before now he's all beat up and broken down and he's got a lot of things to say, but yeah, he's got more braces on. Yeah, no, it's Dax. He's a fucking hard motherfucker. But yeah, anyways, it's just all about the show. I'm kind of get the morale up and giving people a little bit of a teaser, but this is it, Series 7. You can't really get these in stores, but find them on the internet, find them anywhere else. This is it, feature figure of the week, Dax Hardwood.
Alright.
Now we can get into it. So BCC versus Top Flight.
Yes,
this match is what I'm talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want an opener for a wrestling show, you're hard pressed to find a better one than this right here, ladies and gentlemen.
They've got such a great intro.
Yeah, honestly, like it's so sick.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. But like, honestly,
more pyro.
Oh yeah. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we had the Blackpool Combat Club. Specifically, you had Claudio and Bryan Danielson teaming up against Top Flight, aka Darius and Dante Martin.
Yeah.
And man,
some beef at the end of the match.
There was.
Did you see the camera pan at the end? We can. Do you want to get to the end of the match?
I was gonna say we can skip.
The match itself was great.
BCC,
we're not like we're saying don't watch the match. If anybody wants to go on YouTube or go on the website and look at it, watch it. But if you've recorded it too on your PVR, watch it.
Yeah, this
one. Like at the end of the day, we don't want to talk about the match because trying to tell someone about a match is not
you can go
the same.
You'll
thing.
never do it justice.
Yeah, you watching it is a different thing. So that's why we say it every time. Watch.
Brian addressed something, and Claudio was gone. Like Castelloni left.
He was not very happy with what he was hearing.
Like he's got Eddie coming.
Brian was talking about the anarchy in the arena.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's a Brian thing, not a BCC thing.
Exactly.
So Claudio was like, I'm out of here. And
some beef though.
Well,
people started to boo. They were like, "Hey, what's going on here?"
More to tell.
When Tony Schiavone brings it up, I feel like it's an issue.
More to tell. They do address it later on.
And maybe it's potentially a Claudio scenario where he costs them the match. Who knows?
Well, we'll get to that later.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
This match, we'll leave this one for Shane because this is his buddy.
Yes, Mr. Lee Moriarty.
No.
Yeah, that's the next match.
Yeah. Versus his buddies.
No, that's what I meant. Mr. Lee Moriarty representing.
We don't like Lee.
Mr. Shane Taylor Promotions. Who we love Shane Taylor, but him versus our boy Will Ospreay.
How were you feeling coming into this match? Seeing this though,
I mean,
like just seeing this is like
when I heard it was announced, I knew what the outcome was, and when you know the outcome going into a match, and you look at the previous scenarios as to what's happened with the group, you're not happy with it. What happens
if they? I know the ending of the match, it was something. I'm not going to get to that point yet.
Yeah.
But you knowing full you know 100% that this match is happening, everything's going in. This is your buddy Shane Taylor and his buddy Lee Moriarty versus your buddy Will Ospreay.
Yeah, yeah.
So that means you've got two guys that you look really high up for in wrestling right now.
Oh yeah, love Shane Taylor.
But you're talking about pushing Shane Taylor and his promotion.
Yep.
But you got Will now in his way. So at this point, how are you feeling? Like, what are you deep down inside?
Deep down
going into
inside,
this match, you have to have a little bit of glimmer going on that there's could be two sides to this match.
Oh, absolutely. And I felt that myself, because it wasn't something where I went into it and I was like, fuck you, Will. No, I can't say fuck you, Will. I love Will Ospreay.
That's right.
But at the same token, when it comes to Lee Moriarty, and this is the thing, I never wanted him part of Shane Taylor Promotions leading up to it, to what happened. So when what happened did happen, I wasn't very annoyed or disappointed even. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day...
So what did happen at the end of the day?
And that's what I was going to say. So after the match, Shane Taylor comes into the ring.
You guys.
Very disappointed.
Let us introduce his opponent for the evening, Will Ospreay.
Fine. I will let you go to it.
No one even talked about who he's wrestling tonight.
Because I was just saying,
we can't even go to the end of the match.
You just were zoned out. We just got talking about it.
You said we can't go to the end of the match.
No, I just literally said during this match. I said we're talking about Will Ospreay against Lee Moriarty.
Yeah.
I said, how are you even feeling going on?
No, that's what I'm saying.
With your buddy Will Ospreay going against. I said you had to be.
So we did talk about it.
We did.
Just...
So welcome to the show again, Nathan. Everybody, the camera's there. We got the prompter here. Timer's there. Nathan's here. Nathan's here.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, the match was great. It was a very technical match, but at the same time, it was also a Will Ospreay match.
Exactly.
Will Ospreay put in his moveset.
Will Ospreay was in the match.
He clearly got the win. It was a very clean win. That is not what I was talking about.
He was trying to say the
But what I will say is I'm not
going
to talk about what happened. You're going to talk about what happened. What happened after the match, Nathan?
Well, clearly I don't know what's going on.
No, so he's not in it.
This
Listen
is your
here.
thing.
Okay.
I want you to express what's going on because
you were on a roll and I cut you off.
The good guy for the last month and a half in wrestling, folks, is Shane Taylor Promotions. They've been causing a scene in All Elite Wrestling by promoting and saying, hey, we're not to be fucked with. Pardon my language, but they pretty much have been coming in, bringing in a flag, being a badass motherfucker, going like this to this flag, like, I'm Shane Taylor, I've got my own copyright and everything, fuck it, suck it. You know what I mean? So this is what's going on. We have him going against Will Ospreay. Everything's going good. Now Rashane's friend, Shane Taylor, did something. What happened, Rashane?
So Shane Taylor, after the match, got to the ring.
Who did he join?
Gave him a conversation to Lee.
But who came out to help him join?
Wait, what do you mean?
A neck brace kind of guy.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. You're not seeing who he's joining, Rashane.
Roderick Strong.
You've got Roderick Strong and Adam Cole
I know.
and all the other dipshits coming out.
Yeah.
And your boy, Shane Taylor's trying to promote himself and to be like the guy, and that's your clan you join? Is the dipshit fucking parade?
Listen, I can't explain
fucking
to you.
Wardlow doesn't even have a say in there, and you're gonna tell me this Shane Taylor guy's gonna be able to speak?
I know, but like this is my theory.
He's too intimidating.
And I'm hoping that this is what is happening.
What do you think
Shane
he's gonna
Taylor
do?
is a natural leader.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this is very similar to when Kenny joined the Bullet Club. So back in the Bullet Club days when AJ Styles was the current leader, he recruited a guy named Kenny Omega. He built him up, made him look great, and then you know what happened? Kenny kicked him out the group. He said, fuck you, AJ, this is my group now. Yeah. And I'm hoping to God, because Tony, if this is not the case, the anger I shall feel. Yeah. But anyways, let me chill. But for now, I'm hoping this is a usurp. He's joining to overpower Adam Cole. He's going to force him out and take over the group. Please, God, let that be the case, because any other explanation is a complete fucking travesty. And I have nothing else to say, because the anger I felt when I heard that damn music hit and I saw those fuckers come out.
That's what I wanted to hear. See, I knew exactly how you felt when I saw that.
No! I couldn't believe what I was watching,
up with his
and I saw him leave,
on.
and I said,
yeah. You know who Roderick Strong reminds me of? Vicky Guerrero.
Literally.
He might as well just come and go, excuse me.
But the point is, Tony Khan,
that's what I'm saying.
You, my friend, are illogical. You just brought back Anthony Ogogo after over a year out. Brought him to Shane Taylor Promotions. Then you decide, I'm not going to give them a win. And I'm going to have them lose after loss after loss. And then finally they lose last night.
All of it real
and instead of you
do it live.
Just booking them the right way, you instead say, you know what? Screw Shane Taylor Promotions.
See what I'm saying?
Shane, you're joining the club because I want you to take over as leader.
You come with the questions.
Now, that's what I'm saying again. I'm saying that because any other explanation that him taking over as leader is the most illogical thing I have watched all year. So I will repeat myself one more time, Tony Khan. Shane Taylor better be the leader of this fucking group.
I don't see it happening, but
by the end of this story.
Yeah. So anyways, folks.
But I'm not going to say another word.
I just wanted to quick give you a sample of what was happening. It's a pretty big deal in our world because we're a serious podcast. And that is kind of a serious wrestler in Rushane's world. So I was just saying that's
serious.
Very
only
big,
cover the really important
very
stuff
big deal stuff going on and deep down inside in our own company right now. So I was just wanting to kind of let him let it out and let the Tony the bigwig guy see it. But we're gonna go on.
Sorry for my
language. So like I said, we've got more matches to cover besides that.
I'm gonna try and keep
that's gonna get the people going. We're going to the next match here.
It's not a match. We had. Basically, we had Brian Cage
what do you want to call it about?
And the Gates of Agony squash some dummies.
Speaking of another, this is going to touch the soul of Rashane.
That's what I'm saying.
Well.
We just got to get this part going, too.
Get it going.
We got Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony squashing some dummies. And then, at the end of this, Swerve shows up. And this is the part you were talking about where he gets his hands on them with the chains. And you were just a little stoned and drunk last night, maybe. Or,
Cheers.
It was a when you go fishing, it happens. But anyways, we've all been there. And Swerve shows up. Swerve comes up with the chain. Swerve starts diving guys up, and this is what you expect to see from your champion. They disrespected him. Now he's disrespecting them.
Came back with his come up.
And he got them with the chair on the head, on the steps. The classic Adam Copeland move, actually. But
he choked the man out. Hanged him by the fucking chain in the corner.
Yeah, he's used to hanging guys. That's his thing. As I'll call him Hangman. Jeez.
Yeah, literally though.
Take it. Just take it.
But the whole point is, Swerve looks strong. Got his revenge, but not full. He's getting his full revenge this Wednesday on Dynamite against Brian Cage in a title eliminator match. Awesome job, Tony!
Come on.
I don't have much to say other than you, Tony Khan, and your title eliminators are on some bullshit. You know you're on some bullshit because when you say it's a title eliminator, you're basically saying that Brian Cage is losing. Because who here is believing that Brian Cage is going to win and suddenly become a contender? No one here is believing that.
Yeah, I've been.
So every time I see you announce a title eliminator match, that's all I think. Oh, well, you're just burying this dude. Because now, whereas before I could have been like, oh, well, there's a potential maybe is interference or something. No, Brian Cage is not going to win. And anyone who believes he is, you're not watching this podcast.
Yeah, and I've been on that rant before. I'm I'm retweeting that one. Been there.
Yeah. So we're getting that short.
Yeah.
Sweet,
let's roll through a few of these matches. I'm gonna cut
this.
I'm gonna cut some of this out here. So Collision wasn't a good night, but it wasn't all that great. So next match we had Daniel Garcia versus a guy named KM. This guy was a brick shit house. Some guy I've never heard of. He's probably a local talent, but Daniel Garcia gets the win. After that, we had Dax Harwood versus Tommy Billington, and they went at it for a while. This is a good match. At the end of the match, that Tommy guy, his chest was busted up and bleeding. His lip was bleeding. It was a great match. Don't know the guy very well, but Dax Harwood for the win. After that, Thunder Rosa shows up going against Robin Renegade. We've seen her in the past. She's been on AEW program before. She works the indies a lot. She lost because Thunder Rosa is intense, but you know. And there's a bit of drama at the end of that match too. Thunder Rosa had to be held back by security, and she was going wild. Who was she trying to chase down?
That's what I'm trying to remember. Was it Deanna?
Was it Deanna? I mean, it could have been.
I'm almost certain it was Deanna.
Yeah. See, this is what we're talking about. Fuzzy review. It was a late night last night, you know. But we know Thunder Rosa got the win, and there's a little bit of drama at the end, and it would make sense it was Deanna. And I just remember security holding her back. She jumped off the stage at the guy, and he's got her, and whatever, right? Like, she was all fired up, and that led to our main event of the evening, which was Adam Copeland versus Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle called his shot on Wednesday after he helped Copeland out and said he wanted to take him down for the title in Vancouver, and that's where Kyle's from. So this is a couple Canadian boys going at it in Vancouver. It's his hometown. I'll leave this one up to you after I just point out the small details. They both were wearing Vancouver Canucks themed gear that night. Kyle O'Reilly had the new Kyle had the new blue and green jersey coloring, and Copeland had the old school skate orange, black, and red coloring on his pants. Well, he had the Hitman. He's had the Hitman on all of his pants, but it's the color scheme. It was an interesting little thing if you were paying attention, Canadian hockey fans. And I'll leave it at that. You guys talk about the match. This was the main event for the evening.
It was a good one for Copeland to have going on against O'Reilly, and it was O'Reilly's hometown, so everybody was all jacked up like Mountain Dew and ready to go and cheer and hopefully let him win and see him win. But there was a good couple pinfalls that were about to happen that I thought he was going to win, but
hard-hitting moves.
But yeah, it was just an all-out good match. Again, we're very happy to see Adam Copeland do what he's doing right now, day in and day out, every week. Yeah. And it's just one of those things. He's putting on a show, and he's also helping out the company, and he's definitely a company man. And it's just one of those things. It's just like when you see a guy like that, and O'Reilly doing a match like that after he's coming back from all his stuff that he's dealing with, I would say it was an overall just good match to see for the fans, and a good main event for a Saturday night wrestling event in Vancouver.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I love Kyle O'Reilly. Y'all already know this. His moveset, I always talk about it. Like him and Malachi, that combat looking type of wrestling is always my favorite. And just the spots that he was putting on, I was like, man, this is the type of match that I look for. And like you said, a lot of spots where I literally sat there and I was like, damn, this man really gonna win the title, golly. And he didn't, but that's what I mean. Beautiful wrestling, two great guys, both over. And the one thing I like about it is they were both baby faces. Yeah. And it wasn't something where that was a problem though. The crowd, they were both cheering for both guys. It was just a great main event. And honestly, with what that leads to, because after the match, I know that in YouTube/Insta, if you guys follow them, Copeland, he officially challenged Malachi for Double or Nothing.
Oh yeah.
So the match is gonna finally happen. That's what I mean.
The stipulation.
Malachi Black.
The stipulation, barbed wire cage match.
And that's what's nuts, cause I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, that's new to me.
But I can imagine that, especially after the last time they did barbed wire, they're going to be making sure this time it's going to be a great match. Because let's just say the barbed wire death match that happened was
They've had some blunders.
They had some blunders in there.
Yeah, we don't need to go there. Yeah, you're right. That was the lead up to the big announcement.
Oh yeah.
The pay-per-view cage match, barbed wire cage match. That's cool.
Oh yeah, and that right there in itself is just like, hey, I'm excited. And I mean, when you look at Double or Nothing as a card in general, right now you got Swerve versus Cage world title. You got Ospreay versus Strong Continental Championship. Like, you got this match now. You got Anarchy in the arena. Like, Double or Nothing, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be a banger of a pay-per-view. I mean, Mercedes Willow, I just remembered, fucking like Jack Perry's first wrestling appearance since friggin' All In.
Yeah,
if you don't include New Japan, for those who don't watch that, so like,
yeah,
a lot of things to look forward to, and of course we'll be watching the pay-per-view, and of course we'll have the review. But that is your Wednesday.
That's your collision.
That's your collision.
Yeah, we got Rampage.
Oh my God, I forgot. Sorry, y'all.
Let's go through collision.
I'll be very honest. I didn't watch Rampage.
Let's do Rampage. I did watch Rampage. All right. So we had Trent Beretta coming out to face Dalton Castle, and I love Dalton Castle. I know Clinton loves Dalton Castle.
And his boys.
And the boys. Now, let me just tell you right now, his original boys, they've been released. They're no longer in AEW. But they have replaced them with like 6 more guys. So now there's way more boys.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious. They had this one guy out there with his little like bird mask on helping him out last night. That guy is white as Casper. It's like, my man, I feel you. Like, I'm white too, like real white. But like, if you're going to be doing that, maybe get yourself a spray tan or something. Like, it's just hilarious to see him out there. And he's the only one that's not white too. It's hilarious. So after Trent gets the win in that match. It's a great match. I think Dalton Castle honestly should be in AEW. He's in Ring of Honor, and that's great. But that guy, like, every time he comes out, the crowd loves him. Oh, yeah. He can actually wrestle. Like, his character is a goof. He's like Jim Carrey kind of like vibes, right? But he actually is a great wrestler, and I would be happy to see him in AEW. Moving on from that, we had Brian Keith go against JD Drake. Brian Keith gets the win on that one. After that, Deonna Purrazzo versus Lady Frost. We've seen a lot more of Lady Frost lately on Rampage.
Oh, yes.
And, well, Deonna gets the win here. And your main event for the evening is Johnny TV with his lady Taya Valkyrie by his side going against the Bastard Pac.
Which that was a great decision.
For the main event. That was a good match, right? Like, it's your main event. Johnny TV's been on all of the companies. Like, you know who he is. Like, everyone knows.
It's true. If you don't know who Johnny TV is,
like,
you ain't watching wrestling.
Exactly. That guy's just like a globally known wrestler that everyone has seen, and he's good at his job, and so is Pac. So you had a couple good guys finishing off your Rampage, your 3 hours of wrestling on Saturday night, which is a lot, but, you know, we are covering it here for you, and that is it. That's all of it. Anything else to say? Did we miss anything here? I'm not sure. I think we did pretty good today. Even with our, like, side quests and our, you know,
we always have side quests.
Swerving at the wheel once in a while.
We have to swerve.
Yeah, repeating ourselves, you know, gapping out. But, you know, we're all here.
It's Swerve's house, so I have to swerve.
Alright, guys, that's it. That's your weekend review. This is your Mother's Day episode. What did we learn today?
Yeah,
love your moms, love your ladies. Don't disrespect them. Don't tell them to shut the fuck up. And, you know, don't be disrespectful to ladies when you're going to wrestling events. Don't. Yeah. This is just
paid money.
Yeah, it's positive vibes here. Positive vibes, guys. Let's all keep things positive. We shouldn't have Saraya putting you on blast. Yeah. But those are the bad apples. We're not all like that. Our fans don't do that. And you know what? We don't condone it. And, you know, love your ladies, love your moms, positivity. That's our Mother's Day episode.
If you can't see your mother, call your mother. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
Call your mother.
Ours is on vacation in Hawaii right now, so you can't. I'd go visit her if I could.
See, I'm going to see my mom after this. Yeah. So call your damn mom.
That's it, guys.
And there you go.